Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Serena from Life Between Weights, and I'm really thankful that you're here. So today, all I'm really going to talk about is just like random thoughts inside my head, kind of, well, I guess people nowadays call it vlogging, video journaling, and things like that. I've already done my workout for today, and it was actually on my way home from the gym that I was having like all of these thoughts where I felt I needed to get in front of, well, both the camera and the microphone. And the reason I do both is because, some of us are visual and some of us are auditory, and I guess I'm a little bit of both. I prefer to listen to podcasts over watching videos, but I really enjoy being in front of the camera, being in front of as many people as I can, because I think that I have something to say that you want to hear. I don't know is that pompous? I don't know. I don't feel pompous about it. I just feel like I want to talk to you, that's all. So there are several things that have been on my mind lately, and things that I've been seeing, whether I'm like trolling. Yes, I troll the internet, whether it's if I'm Googling different ideas, or, mindlessly scrolling through Instagram, or watching people vent on Facebook. You know how that is. It can be kind of like a downer, There's definitely some things that I had to stop on Facebook because it was just would put me in like a negative place. So I guess one of the first things I want to say is that no matter where you are, and I'm not assuming or assuming to know what it is that you might be going through right now, but the internet, like Facebook, the internet is definitely a good tool. Like, there are places that you can go and seek like help or a listening ear or things like that. But with some of the issues that I see people putting up on Facebook, it's kind of surprising. Let's just say that. So, but to each their own. If that's the way that you kind of vent or whatever, that's cool. If you just need somebody to talk to, feel free to shoot me an email or a DM on Facebook or Instagram, and I'll leave all that contact information in the description box below, because the main reason that I'm here in front of everybody is because my goal is to help people. I mean, I told my husband yesterday that there was, how there's like influencers. I don't want to say influencers because there are definitely people who are doing a lot of good right now, but I don't want that title. I'm not looking to be, an influencer. But I want to be more like a helper or an encourager or inspirer. And so if there's definitely anything that anybody wants to talk about, I'm here to do the listening. Is that okay? I mean, I don't know if that's even okay that I say that. I don't know, but that's just who I am. That's what I want to do. So another thing that I've been thinking about is right now I live kind of city side, and this, or at least more so than I ever have before. And by that meaning, the town that I grew up in is a horse racing town in upstate New York, and it's not, you can definitely get to like the inner workings of it where you have more of like a busy feel, but like the outskirts of the town, like the town in general, is very much so, it's broad, it's wide, it's green, that people have, you can go over to your like different neighborhood communities, and they've all got like chickens in their backyard. So it's definitely more country than city. And Somerville, where we're currently in Loudoun County and Virginia, Northern Virginia, and we moved here about 6 or 7 months ago from Somerville, South Carolina. And that was definitely country. I mean, there was nothing city about that place at all. I mean, we'd go down to Charleston, but even in Charleston, it just has that laid back southern, you know, plantation kind of feel. So I guess what I'm trying to say is this place that I live in now feels the most like a city than where I've ever been before, and I'm feeling a little claustrophobic, to say the least. So I've definitely met some really great people while I've been here, and a lot of them you can find on the YouTube channel and on the podcast. I've been speaking with a lot of people, and I want to say interviewing them, but interview is not the right question, but really just kind of poking and prodding them about who they are and their stories and where they've come from. I don't think of that as an interview, or just having conversations, you know, so there's that. And you can go back and listen to those if you want to as well. So Josh and I were talking the other day about the possibility of if we're gonna maybe move out to the country or stay in the city. So I don't know. I like the convenience that I can walk a half a mile up the road and I'm at my dentist, my vet, my family practitioner, the grocery store, there's restaurants, there's coffee shops, all like within walking distance of my house. And that's really great, and that's really good. The location is so great for some people. But for me, I feel like the walls are closing in. Does that make sense? I think for a lot of people it would. And where were we? Oh, we went to the National Zoo, and they had a petting zoo at the National Zoo where I didn't think that was going to be there. I love petting zoos, but I didn't think that was going to be at the National Zoo because, you know, you think of zoos and you think, you know, lions and tigers and bears and elephants and giraffes, and they definitely had those things. But they also had cows and donkeys and chickens and pigs, and we've had chickens in the past in Somerville. In our backyard, we lived in a neighborhood, and we had chickens. We had 6 chickens in our backyard, and it was probably one of the most rewarding experiences, the chickens and the gardening, that I have had, because we were taking care of these really cool little creatures. They were very personable. They wanted the attention. They liked being like picked up and held by the kids and stuff. And I love eggs. We don't really eat a lot of meat, but I still, I won't call myself like vegan. I just like say plant-based because I eat honey. And this is kind of unclear to me in the vegan mindset. I know that bees produce honey, therefore it is an animal product, but it's not like bacon. You know, I don't have to kill the bee to get the honey. And the same thing, I feel the same way about eating eggs. You know, farm fresh, pick them right out of the coop kind of eggs. Now, we didn't have a rooster, so I knew that there was no way that those eggs were fertilized, therefore going to be baby chicks, and I was okay with eating that. And eggs are good for you, no matter, you know, in my opinion. I know science is changing on that all the time, but I really enjoy eggs. So I guess what I'm really just trying to say is that I want a farm. And that's really surprising. I mean, I've thought about it before, like the thought has crossed our minds, maybe like Christmas tree farming or an apple orchard or a peach orchard or something like that. It's definitely something that we've talked about and thought about. But I thought that was just because that's where we were and that's what everybody did. You know, that we grew up and that was all around me. And throughout our different like duty stations and stuff like that, that's just kind of what's always been around. So that's why I thought that's what I wanted. But even now living in the city, I'm just like, son of a bitch, I just want a freaking cow. You know what I mean? Maybe not, because I can't imagine that everybody wants to hang out with cows. But so I want to have a farm. I want to get out of the city. I want to have a farm, and that's what I want to do. I don't want to make this video too long, just talking about things that I want. So with all that being said, I don't know. I mean, like I said, this is my random thoughts, my random musings, and I want a farm. So now let's talk about working out, because that's like the main reason that I'm here. So let's talk about the upper body workout that I did today, and I'll tell you exactly what I did so that you can then maybe go and replicate it, maybe grab an idea or two and use it for yourself. I mean, y'all, my pre-workouts are wearing off. So today I did arms and shoulders, and I had 3 circuits that I did 3 times each, 10 times per exercise. Okay, 10 reps per exercise, 3 times, 3 circuits, made for a 30-minute workout. Great. So if maybe you have to stop on a lunch break, maybe you go before or after work, or maybe you just don't like to spend an hour to 2 hours in the gym every day, which is not necessary whatsoever, so don't even worry about that. A 30-minute workout is perfect. So I spent 30 minutes in the gym, and then about 10 minutes in the sauna, because 10 minutes is where my iPhone gets too hot to use, and then I get bored and I get out. So maybe I'll just start bringing a book so I don't melt my cell phone. That's probably a really great idea. Made my very first Instagram like video story today. That was kind of scary. Did that in the sauna. Okay, back to the workout. So my arms, I used 12.5-pound dumbbells to do wide bicep curls. So instead of the hands being in front of the body, they were out to the shoulder and they were wide. I brought them back in front of the body, turned my wrists, and did regular hammer curls. And then, let me see, I wrote it all down so I wouldn't forget. Let me see, I'm just gonna look through because I had it. Okay, so I did the wide bicep curls and regular hammer curls, and then I did one arm at a time tricep extension. So instead of going back behind the body, the arm and weight came down to the opposite shoulder and back up, and that just works even more muscles. So I did 10 of those each. So even with the triceps, that was 10 on each side, left and right. And then after that, I used one of those, the wavy barbells. I used a 30-pound one of those to do regular bicep curls, and then 7-pound hand weights, or 7.5, I can't remember. They just weren't 10 pounds, to do reverse biceps. And what that does, so my hands are face down instead of face up as I bring them up to my body and back down. And what that does is it helps to create the strength in the forearm and in the wrist too. So those are really good. And then on a plyometric box, I did tricep dips. After that, I did a front raise and then a side raise, but I did it wide. So instead of bringing up parallel with my shoulder, I had them in front of the body and brought the elbows up and out to the side to do that. And then I did wide hammers. So the difference between like doing your bicep curl in the front or hammer curl in the front and then bringing it out to the side waist is just going to be the different areas of the muscles that really gets the muscle going, to different toning different parts of the muscle. So that was that, and that took, like I said, 30 minutes. I listened to other podcasts while I did it. I'm not really I can't say I'm not a music person. I don't listen to music on a daily basis. That's not what's important to me. I feel overstimulated by a lot of music, so I tend to listen more to books, like audiobooks and podcasts. I like to hear stories or learn new things. So if you're somebody who doesn't really enjoy listening to music, because when I listen to a good story, that gets me pumped up. And that's what people listen to music for. So don't forget, you know, always do your warm up and your cool down. 5 minutes on either end is plenty of time. And the row machine for a warm up is perfect because it warms up the entire body. And then just kind of like stretching the muscles for a few minutes when you're done, which you can find really great stretches on the internet. I'm sure I should make a video about that as well. And I probably actually will, because it is just that important. So I want to give you my take on what that looks like, and we can go from there. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to my random thoughts. I want to inspire you to not only go work out, but to let you know that 30 minutes in the gym is plenty of time, and it's okay if you want a pet cow. I want a pet cow. That's just how it is. And a horse, and a pig, and some chickens, and probably some donkeys. I told my daughter this morning that I wanted goats as well. I mean, I know that Josh wants goats because he doesn't want to have to mow the lawns too much. So if we have goats, and cows, they'll take care of the grass for us. But it's just really funny because I told Kara, my oldest, that I want fainting goats, and I want screaming goats, or what are they called? Are they called screaming goats? They're called yelling goats? I can't remember. Screaming goats, because when they make that noise, that loud scream noise that they make, the fainting goats will faint. So we'll constantly be having screaming goats making the fainting goats faint all the time. And it'll just be a show, and then I'll probably film that too. So I just want to connect with you guys, just to let you know this is me, this is who I am, and I love you, and I love it, and I love me. And that's about all that I have to say today.